Okay, now in this section what we are going to do is we are going to verify the NSSA configurations, how to configure NSSA, how to verify them again. So before we actually configure, let's try to understand what are the commands we need to apply on the routers, like we did in the stub. So what I want to do is I want to make this area as NSSA. Before I go with NSSA, I'll just verify the stub verifications. First I'm going to configure as a stub, where I have some routers here. I got these three routers. These three routers belongs to area 10, and then this routers belongs to area 0, and then I got some external routes coming from RIP on this side. We got some RIP routes, and we are doing some redistribution of those routes into OSPF. Okay, so let me just do these two things. First, the basic advertisements, and assume that we don't have these routes as of now. We'll just verify the normal stuff. I'm going to do the basic advertisements and redistributing RIP on the router 4 into OSPF on the router 4. So this is something what I'm going to do initially. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the basic configurations as per my diagram. So on the router 1, I'm going to say router OSPF 1, and you can see on the router 1 here I got 1 dot network and 10 dot network, right? And both the 1 dot network and 10 dot network in which area? It's going to be in area 10 as per my diagram, and I got 10 dot network also in area 10. Done. I'm not advertising those 11 dots. These 11 dots we will see after we verify stub configuration one more time. And on the router 2, I got all the interfaces in area 10. So I'm going to advertise 20 dot network, 0.255, 255, 255, area 10, and I got 2 dot network also in area 10, and I got 1 dot network also in area 10, and I got 12 dot network as well. 12 means that is my loopback interfaces, everything in area 10. Just to make my routing table more bigger, I'm advertising all the interfaces, all the loopbacks, everything. So let's go to router 3 now. On the router 3, I'm going to say router OSPF 1 network, 30 dot network, 0.255, 255, 255, and I got area 10, and then 2 dot network also in area 10 as per my diagram. You can see here 32, and then 13 dot network as well, 13 dot network also in area 10, and then I got 3 dot network in area 0. So as per my diagram, 3 dot network in area 0. Done. So, and after that I'm going to configure the same thing on the router 4, router OSPF 1. I'm going to redistribute RIP. Anyway, I have to do redistribution of RIP into OSPF here, and then advertising the network, 3 dot network. 3 dot network in which area? As per my diagram, it is on area 0, and then we got 40 dot network, 40 dot network also in area, and then advertising RIP routes, the 14 dot routes into my RIP. So I did everything as per my diagram here. If you just try to see, I configured these 3 routes, this and OSPF area 0, and then RIP, and redistributing them back into OSPF. Now if I go and check in my routing table on the router 1, what I should see? I should see plenty of OIA routes. If I give show IP route OSPF, I must see a lot of routes here. You can see as per my diagram, I can see there are OE2 routes, and also I can see some OIA routes above. So OIA from different areas. So I can see OIA routes as well as I can see some E1, E2 routes. Now what it is going to say that, okay, by default we don't have any stub configurations. By default it's going to work like that only. So I'm going to have each and every route in my routing table. That's how it will be. So now what I want to do, I want to make this area 10 as a stub. Let's configure stub first, and then we'll verify NSSA also, and what is the drawback with the stub and what NSSA provides. So that's something how we are going to verify. I'm going to configure this area 10 as a stub. So if you remember, what is the command we need to do? we need to go to all the routers of area 10, that is on the router 1, router 2, router 3. We need to give what command? Area 10 stub. Let's do that. Router OSPF 1, we need to say area 10 stub. Now the same command, I need to do the same thing, just use copy paste on the router 2 as well, area 10 stub, and on the router 3 also, which is my border router, on the router 3 I have to say area 10 stub, right? So I want to make router 1, router 2, router 3 as a stub. Done. So verify the neighborship, ensure that the neighborship is up, because if you misconfigure the stubs, then your neighborship will not come up. So everything seems to be okay. And if I check on the router 1, show IP route OSPF, I should not see any external routes. Instead of that, I should see OIA route, that is a default. Now this is something what we have already verified in our stub. There's nothing new here. So but what I'm going to do now here is, in future, let's say this is my stub. In future, due to some reasons, like maybe you have some EHRP routes getting redistributed into OSPF, and that too you have an ASBR in that stub area. Let's do this. What happens, we'll verify. Okay, so I'm going to router 1. On the router 1, I'm going to advertise the routes 11.loopbacks, no auto summary, 11.loopbacks, the loopback interfaces of the router 1 into EHRP, and then I'm going to redistribute them into OSPF. Metric type, whatever options you want, you can do this. Now what message you see here? I can see here, it's just a warning message, just a console message saying that this router is currently an ASBR while having one area in a stub. So it's just a message, but it's not going to do any impact on that, because still it's a stub. But what is the impact here? Let's go to router 2. If I go and check on the router 2, router 3, router 4, now here if you check my routing table, can you see any 11 networks here? Now these routes will not go to router 2, because when you say stub, it's going to stop LSA files. That's what we discussed. So which means the router 2, there is no 11 networks coming, because they will not pass through the stub area. Similarly, if you go and check on the router 3, there is no, on the router 3 also, you will not see those 11 routes. And if you go and check on the router 4 also, you will not see those 11 routes. Because once you make any specific router as a stub, that stub will not allow external routes by default. So that's something by default happens. Now we need a solution for this. Now the solution here is, don't configure stub. Instead of stub, remove the stub and configure that as NSSA. Now when I configure it as NSSA, what happens is you still have a default route for this. You still have a default route for this, just like a stub, like previous way. At the same time, it is going to allow, the external routes, allow E1, E2 routes or LSA files. I want to allow the external routes along with having a default route advertised from the other side. Okay, so I want both the options. I want to have a default route, just like a stub, more like a stub, which is working previously, plus I want to allow my external routes to pass through the stub area. Now what we do, what is the solution? We just need to change your area from stub. I need to change to NSSA. I need to change it to NSSA. Now what's the command I need to configure to make this possible? Simple, the same commands what we discussed. We need to go to each and every router of that area, that is area 10. We need to go to router OSPF 1. Ensure that we remove the stub command. I'm going to remove stub configuration because I don't want stub now. I want to make it as NSSA, so I'm going to say area 10 NSSA. That's it. Very simple. Remove the stub. If the stub is not present, then you don't need to remove anyway. But here I configured as a stub. Remove the stub and just configure it as NSSA, Not So Stubby Area. The name itself says it's a stub, but it's not completely a stub. It is adding an exception to allow the external routes along with adding a default route. Okay, so let's go ahead and practically verify this. So I'm going to router 1. I'm going to say no area. Already I'm in the router mode, I think. Let me just go to router 1, and I'm going to say no area 10 stub, because the last time I have configured it as a stub. I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to configure it as NSSA. That's it. Similar way, I'll go to router 2. On the router 2, let me just copy paste this configurations everywhere. So I'm going to say router OSPF 1. On the router 2 as well, I'm going to say area 10 NSSA. Similar way on the router 3 as well, I'm going to remove the stub, and I'm going to say area 10 NSSA. Now what I should see, the first thing we need to verify. Now what we did, we just configured this area, this one. Now it's no more stub, it's a NSSA. So what I should expect? So I should expect two things. The first thing, I should see the default route on the router 1, just like a normal stubs. Show IP route OSPF. Just a minute. Actually, we need to configure one more command. Let me just write down one more thing. We need to configure on all the router 1 and router 2, on all the internal routers. We need to give area 10 NSSA command. Okay, this is what I discussed, but there is a slight change. Only on the area border router, we need to give area 10 NSSA default information originate. I missed this command actually, because when you say NSSA will not generate the default route automatically. So this is one thing we need to do on the border router. If you want to configure as NSSA, not so stubby area. So I missed this one, so just please correct that one. So we need to say NSSA default information originate only on the border router. So in my scenario, who is the border router? Router 3, right? I got a router 3, which is my border router. So let me just make some changes over there on the router 3. That's the reason I'm not able to see the route. So I'm going to remove that NSSA, and I'm going to reconfigure it as NSSA default information originate. So now verification. Now if you verify on the router 1 or on the router 2, any two routers we can verify, because both are my internal routers. I need to give show IP route OSPF. Let's give some time for the convergence. Okay, now it's perfect. I can see I got a convergence of the routes. I can still see some OIA routes, because that's okay, but there is no E1 E2. We don't see E1 E2, but instead this E1 E2 is replaced with a single default route. Now I'll see the output like a little bit different, O asterisk N2 instead of O asterisk IA if you are using NSSA. That's a one difference. Okay, let's verify on the router 2, because on the router 2 I can give you a more clear understanding here. We can see both in general. If I give show IP route OSPF on the router 2, now I can see the default route. Now this default route is instead of this 14 dot routes, which are my E1 E2 routes, which are coming from router 4, I can see the default route just like a stub. So we got a default route from here. That's good thing. It's a more like a stub. And also at the same time I can see these external routes. They're passing through the stub area. You can see these routes here, the one which are listed here. Now these routes will be seen as N1 or N2 routes. These routes will be seen as N1 or N2 depending upon the metric type. So if I am redistributing them with E2 routes, when they pass through the stub area, they will be passing as LSA 7 advertisements, and the output wise you will see them as ON1 or ON2. So as long as they pass through the stub area, they will be seen as LSA 7s. So output will be like this. And similar way, when they come to router 4 outside the area, they will be advertised as LSA 5s. So within the stub area, they will be advertised as LSA 7s. And how to identify them? This is the output. This is how they look. And when they go outside the area, again they will be advertised as a LSA 5s. So you want to check? Let's go to router 4 and verify. Let's go to router 4 and verify show IP route OSPF I should see those routes, these 11 dot routes. You can see I'm able to see them as E2 routes because now they're LSA files. Because when they are moving through the stub, within the stub area, they will be as LSA 7s, like ON1, ON2, that's how they look. And then when they go outside the stub area, now this is different area now, area 0. Now they will be seen as E1 or E2 route, more like a LSA files, LSA 7, LSA files. So any routes which are moving through the stub area and allowing the external routes, whatever the external routes you are allowing to pass through the stub area, they will be seen as LSA 7s. Okay, so that's how the stub works. Now I can see I got an exception having an ASBR in my stub. So that's what NSSA will allow you to do that.